of an MP carrying out a murder, and that is one of the 3 allegations that the police are currently investigating. And what the police made clear today is, as crazy as this sounds, the notion, completely ludicrous on the face of it, they believe the witness to be credible, and basically they believe him. And that is as a combination of the credibility of the witness himself, combined with other work that's been done, which we can't really talk about at this stage. But the police are signalling today that they are taking this extraordinary claim incredibly seriously.
John Mann, do you believe that this is credible? I mean, this is the most serious allegation possible, really.
Yeah, the allegations are very credible. More people are coming forward every day. I've just spoken to someone new myself today with allegations local to my area. And these are credible allegations. This abuse was going on. It's time that the victims and their voice was heard and there was some justice, but that's going to require some bravery, not least from former police officers who looked at these things, however, it were a cursory way in the past, to come forward with what they know of the past. That would be the most significant way forward in actually getting some justice of these people.
Are you suggesting there was a cover-up as well, John Mann?
Oh, well, that's one aspect, but it's more complex than this. It's the whole way in which these young people were treated as social delinquents at the time, and they were not seen as credible whenever they complained to the authorities, be it to children's homes, managers, social services, be it to the police or anybody else. That was the fundamental thing that went wrong. There clearly was some significant cover-up as well. The combination means there's a lot of people out there who know a lot more. If those people come forward, including more of the victims, I think we will see some justice.
Thank you, John Mann. Apologies there for those interruptions from those boys in the background. As far as the names are concerned, I mean, we're not naming names at this stage. Do we have names either for the 3 suspected victims or indeed for who it was thought was involved with this?
Well, in relation to the 3 murders, Nick we are aware of the alleged perpetrator of one of those killings, who was a Conservative MP.
But do we know who the victims are?
And in terms of the victims, that's something we're all trying to work out. As things stand, we do not know for sure who any of the 3 victims are. I think that we are making some progress on working out the identity of one. We have a partial identity on a second, and I understand the police have made some progress on that one in particular. And the third one, I'm afraid, is a complete mystery.
And when you said to me that there's this one that could have been killed by an MP, that's the one you're certain of. Are you certain that there were 2 other murders as well?
Yes, I mean, this is Nick's account of 3 quite separate incidents. Now, of course, there isn't a corroborative witness for any of these 3 incidents, but part of the objective, I think, of the police today in the briefing that they've given to journalists is to encourage witnesses to come forward. And here's a crucial one, to pick up what John Mann said earlier. Now, on Exaro, just last week, we ran a story about private postings by police officers who were involved or at least heard about closed operations that were closed when they started to reach people in positions of power, including police, judiciary, MPs, Westminster they would refer to. And these operations were closed down. It is absolutely crucial that not only abuse survivors come forward to tell what they know, not only people who worked at Dolphin Square to tell what they know, but police officers who were involved in these closed operations must come forward and must be allowed to come forward to tell what they know.
What's the period we're talking about this is taking place?
Specifically in relation to the alleged murders, we're talking from the top of my head the very late 70s and early 80s. And I'm afraid the abuse, it spans from many decades ago right up until, in some cases, it's still going on.
And this is an investigation. Have there been any convictions relating to this circle or this abuse that we can say, well, at least something was going on?
Well, actually, the answer is yes. It's quite a complicated network, and we often prefer to use the word network at Exaro rather than ring to try and capture the complexity of it. And we have had the conviction of Charles Napier, who was involved in this broad network. He's been convicted of some very serious child sex offences just recently. He was a figure in this network. He's not in himself a famous name. He happens to be the half-brother of a Conservative MP, John Whittingdale. And as John Whittingdale says, I can't help that. But there it is. It happens to be a fact. And Charles Napier will come up for sentencing for the offences for which he's been found guilty later this next month, just before Christmas, in fact.
And any of the suspects, are they still extant or are they all dead?
No, they're certainly not all dead. And as the police have indicated, this is a live investigation into people who are still alive. Clearly some perpetrators are dead. We've heard a lot about Cyril Smith. We've written a lot about Cyril Smith, and indeed Peter Morrison, former PPS to Margaret Thatcher. But not all the perpetrators, or alleged perpetrators, are dead.
And finally, is this still difficult to investigate? Are you still running up against opposition, or has the climate changed post-Savile?
The climate has changed, but for sure there are difficulties. There are false stories being spread, there are smears being spread, there are smears being spread about police officers who might blow the whistle, certainly about abuse survivors, even about us at Exaro. But the reality is that a lot has changed. There is an inquiry that's going to go into the whole of this. We believe at Exaro that Theresa May, the Home Secretary who ordered this, is serious about this inquiry. I think that fact alone, the fact that inquiry exists, has caused the police to treat it more seriously, and quite frankly they were just earlier this year.
Mark Watts, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much.